Fucks me.
So you said, it's 78 degrees. It's 86% humidity. So
it
it
is
is
warm
gonna
morning.
gonna feel a little warmer than we normally would normally feel. But I was talking with somebody that went down to Texas, West Texas, just recently, and they were saying when they were down there, it was between 90 and 100 degrees. There was only 13% humidity, and the people down there were going, "We're so sorry it's so humid. You can come inside." They're going, "This is great. Are you kidding me?" So yeah, it's all perspective, isn't it?
It is. It
It
is.
really
But
is.
be sure to bring that water bottle with you
Yes.
today. You're going to need it.
That's exactly right.
Don't forget it at home.
True. It is 7:02. Great to have you along with us here this morning. Here's Todd Agnew and Grace Like Rain.
Good morning to everyone on the mid-morning show coffee break.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
Did you go to church for the first time? I was reading some statistics today about how people are pretty leery about going back to church. Like 65% of people surveyed, Christians surveyed, said they're nervous
Yeah.
about going back to church. So if you went back to church, were you nervous, or how was that? What was that like? Our church is doing that next week, so I'm kind of curious how you felt about it. I'm a little nervous, not for going back to church,
Yeah.
but for all that I have to do to ensure that I'm safe.
Right. Heidi said she went to church this
Okay.
weekend.
Oh,
Back
good.
to church. We've been going now at our church for, 3 or 4 weeks now? And we figured it out without doing an accurate count, but I think we're about 65 to 70% of the people coming
Oh, that's good.
to church.
Yeah,
and
that's
we've
great.
we've split it up into two services and made it very social distance safe and everything like that. So, but yeah.
Do you sing with your mask on? That was one question I had, because like when I sing, I use a lot of air. Like, will I pass out? Kind of afraid
Well-
of singing with my mask on.
We're not using masks.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we encourage people, if they feel comfortable doing it,
Okay.
to wear it. Yes, but
Oh, okay.
and we're also, we're way far apart.
Right.
We've got banquet tables set up that are spread out quite a bit.
Right.
We have a large space
Right.
to do that, and so, we're encouraging just the families to sit together at their table, and so you're isolated, and so anyway, there's some people that are wearing masks and some that aren't.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, one thing about COVID-19 that has really impressed me is just I'm so thankful that we have something like Moody Radio to access when we've had this not being able to go to church and have like Bible study or a Wednesday night service or prayer meeting or Awanas. I
Right.
mean, we still have this coming into our homes and our cars, and I'm very grateful for Moody Radio, because a lot of times we can be anxious and it can really help us through anxiety or help
Right.
us just be encouraged when we can get discouraged by listening to all the information we're hearing.
Sure.
Not that information should scare us, but sometimes it does, because we don't know where it's going to lead.
Right.
And so I thank you so much to all of you who've really said, we love Moody Radio too, and we want to make sure that it's here in the Quad Cities. We've had overwhelming support, and we're very grateful for that.
Yeah.
But
And Moody has really utilized technology to spread the gospel. We have numerous online streams. So, if there's something that you want, that's not available on the radio at the time you're listening, you can always go and get music on our online streams, all kinds of different music. If we're playing music and you want a sermon, you can go to the Proclaim channel and you can listen to all kinds of messages and stuff there from the past, or on your Moody Radio app, you can go and listen on demand to a lot of different programs that have been passed, or radio programs, or stream the stations live around the country. So, man, technology is great. And, of course, that all takes funding, and so, we appreciate our partners.
we do. And so if you hear us talking about helping other stations, it's because we all want to cross the finish line.
Right.
We're in this together, this ministry together. And so much of your gift also goes to programs that everybody gets to enjoy, like Equipped or In the Market with Janet Parshall or Chris Fabry Live. And so
Right.
thank you so much for whatever you can do to help out our sister stations this morning.
That's right. Hey, also hi to Frank, checking us out on Facebook today. There's Todd Agnew. It's called Grace Like Rain on Moody Radio Quad Cities. It's 7:07. It's the whole team here today. It's Jeremy and Deb and Jason, and I'm Ken, and we appreciate you being along with us here on this Monday. And we're talking a little bit about kind of standing in the gap. That's been kind of our theme this time around with Share and now fiscal year end, as we are trying so much to really meet that goal that for the whole Moody Radio team, because it takes a team to do the ministry,
It's kind of like grabbing a plank and helping with somebody else's barn.
right? Yeah, that's right.
I mean, in rural society, you know, people, the whole community would get together to build something, and
Right.
everybody was needed to be
Yeah.
able to accomplish that task.
So are you saying we're doing a barn raising here today?
We're doing a barn raising,
All right.
but it's over the whole network, because even though our sister stations aren't right here, they are broadcasting to their communities the good news of Jesus Christ, and we want to be there for them.
Right.
And many times in our nation, people have traveled from one place to another, whether to get the electricity up in another part of the nation, or if somebody had a natural disaster, we take mission trips there. And this is kind of the idea, is we're helping each other cross the finish line.
That's
and so
right.
we're asking you to stand in the gap for others this morning.
Yeah. And so we've also had somebody that, Steve from Geneseo, gave a monthly gift this morning. So thank you, Steve. We appreciate you standing with Christ. So thanks, Pam. Appreciate that testimony.
We appreciate you, and thank you so much for praying for Moody Radio too. That is the most important thing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for lifting us up in prayer. But Jason,
Yeah.
people might be asking, why is it important to have 100%?
Well, you budget on the financial numbers that come in. And so we look at, one, we're wanting to finish this fiscal year strong, and there's 2 days left in it. And then also you want to be on good footing when you start the next fiscal year, which is Wednesday. And so that's a part of it, is, we want to make sure that we're what's the word to say? Because we're so close to this fiscal year end, and we want to continue. We plan to continue doing what we've always done, which is the to help people take their next step in their walk with Jesus Christ. And so we plan to do that in the next fiscal year. So really it's doing our best to tie a bow on what will end here in these last 2 days of the fiscal year, and be on good footing here when we start again on July 1st.
Yeah. And so we'd love to have you partner with us, and you can do that like so many have done already this morning by calling 800-600-9624, 800-600-9624, or going online to moodyradio.org/Quad Cities. Indiana's jumped up quite a bit. They're up at 90, almost 93% already.
Oh, that's
They were
good.
at,
It's
what,
good to hear.
90%, I think, when we started, or wasn't it? Or was it
Yeah.
91?
Well, and as a network, so we're just about to hit 91%.
Yeah,
And we started this morning at 90. So
yeah.
so that's it. It's really cool to see. And again, Cleveland, they hit their goal.
Yeah.
So we celebrate with them, because this is what they would do if we were in this position, and we've been in this position.
Yes,
Right.
we have.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah, so pretty cool stuff.
this, I think this year was, I was trying to remember, I think it was the first time in 3 years that we've hit our share goal.
Yeah,
I think 3 years.
So we're really praising the Lord for that. And thanks to you for your help, too, for doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see, we get to talking a little bit about churches. Frank was saying that went to church. They didn't allow us to sing, but we had masks on and we were at our proper distance in the church. About 50 people.
Okay.
Yeah, so way to go, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
It's good to hear how churches are getting back together. I did see some pictures of some churches and it's weird to see a church service where people are not together. I got to say, when you look at the congregation and you see one person here and one person way over there and one person, but churches are being pretty responsible, I think, on keeping the social distancing, which is
Sure.
really good. It's weird to see, but this whole thing has been weird, hasn't
Right.
it?
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's so been uncertain. And it's one of those things where we don't have answers for it. Don't we hate it when we don't have answers for something?
Right?
Like
Yeah.
we're constantly learning about it, and so we're adapting to what we're learning.
Yeah.
But like no one's got the exact answer on this.
Right. Yeah.
And so it is a walk of faith when you think about it. It mirrors kind of what we do. We take one step at a time with the Lord. But thankfully, he's got
Yeah.
he knows
He
it
knows
all.
the plan. He sees it all.
That's the difference.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I was thinking on the way in, I don't know, it just struck me as I was driving on the way in, here we are, it's almost the end of June. And for me, and I know this is kind of weird, but for me, I've said this before, baseball kind of gets me out of that winter frame of mind and into spring and summer. And since we haven't had that, my brain is still not quite out of that yet, even though we have the hot temperatures and all of that. Just being out of the norm, and it just doesn't quite feel the same.
It's coming though.
It is.
Because they're starting training, I think, today. I
Yeah.
think I heard on the news today.
Cubs finalized their 60-man roster, I think,
Yes.
yesterday, and a lot of teams are doing that and getting into spring training, well, now summer training, and then they'll start their season. So looking forward to that. It'll kind of give a little bit of a different perspective on things. Song is called Holy Water, We the Kingdom, on Moody Radio. As it's Ken and Deb here, Jason's here, Jeremy's here. We're also live streaming on Facebook right now as well. If you want to check that out, we've got Frank on there and Jordan on there and Heidi's on there, many others. So I appreciate you checking us out there this morning. But it's also exciting to see people that are seeing that the ministry is important of Moody Radio as a whole, and they're giving to the ministry, and they're continuing to see that it's important to have God's word broadcast around the country and around the world through Moody Radio.
Amen. I mean, that's why we're here, is because we want to continue to be faithful, be able to be faithful in giving out God's word and God's message. And like everything else, there are bills to be paid.
Right.
And so Moody Radio overall did not meet its goal. And so we are helping other stations with our plenty to be able to do that. And Jason, it's a wonderful thing to be able to help, because that is what we're called to do as Christians, not to be thinking of only ourselves and our own interests, but to think of others.
Yeah, absolutely. And a number of folks here in the Quad Cities and in the surrounding region have come alongside WDLM and have helped us, and we are so grateful
Yes.
for that. And so we are just thanking God, thanking you for your partnership with Moody Radio. And Deb, you're spot on. We are a community. We are a community. As followers of Jesus Christ, we are a community. We need each other. And so we're in these final 2 days of our fiscal year here at Moody Radio, and we have sister stations that are on the air right now, just like we are, and they're talking about their financial need to get to 100% of not just their share goal, but fiscal year end. So we've got 2 days left in the fiscal year, and the share goals that we talked about were goals that also included the dollar numbers, the dollar amounts for ending our fiscal year. And so it's a stretch goal. If you use those in your work environment or ministry setting, this is a stretch goal for share, to the tune of almost $1 million beyond what would have been raised during a normal share. So, including fiscal year end, we were looking at a $6.2 million goal. And so we're at 90%. We're at 90% nationwide. We're coming up on 91%.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're at 90.99%.
That's incredible.
So it's just like that.
Yeah.
Need to get right over there. So if you can prayerfully make a gift right now, pray also maybe that somebody else might give as well during this time. You can do that and make your call or go online. 800-600-9624. That's 800-600-9624. Or give online, moodyradio.org/Quad Cities.
So Heidi says she wasn't nervous at all going back to Edgewood. So that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, Jason, how was that? How was getting back to church for you? How did it feel?
Well, so I preached at First Baptist Church in Muscatine this weekend.
That's right.
So I was not at
So how would it have felt?
Yeah,
Jason?
yeah. I'd love to tell you. No, I'm looking forward to. We have a meeting on Tuesday night with the leaders at Edgewood to just debrief on how the weekend went, and looking forward to that. It was great to be at First Baptist up in Muscatine, and to be that was my first church service. Yes, it was.
First
Yes,
time
it
back
was.
in a church?
in a church.
Huh.
Post
Because actually you
COVID.
came into our church and recorded
Right,
a
right.
sermon for
Video,
us,
yep.
but you weren't doing the service itself.
Yeah.
You were in the church, but
Yeah.
so this would have been your first one with the congregation there, or
Yeah.
part of the congregation.
It was a great experience. I had a great time. Thanks to the folks at First Baptist for having me. It
Cool.
was So we had communion. I was particularly watching that because we
Yes,
you
yeah.
know
Yeah.
Sure.
that's an important element, and so I was asking how did they put it all together, because there's so many options out
Right.
there. You can get the prepackaged. You can So anyway, so I was very curious about those
I was
kinds
thinking
of
about
things.
it's kind of like vending machine communion.
That's right.
What kind
yeah.
of package would you like?
Yeah.
Insert here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Gluten free or regular.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, some exciting news for our church, though. Our church called a pastor.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Cool.
We've made the announcement on Sunday, yesterday, and so they'll be here in a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks or whatever. So that's exciting in Kewanee. So it's good to have that element back in place. It's been a long, since November of last year. And really even longer than that, because our previous pastor had taken a 3-month sabbatical. So
Right.
really, it had been 3 months before that. So it's been a long haul without having a lead pastor.
Yeah.
So
These are interesting times for families to move too. For
Yeah.
him to move up here and
yeah,
be in prayer for that. That's a big transition
Sure
from where
is.
he's coming from. But that would be also something interesting just to ask you pastors, how you felt through all this and some of the things you've learned.
$7:20. Ken and Deb and Jason and Jeremy here with you this morning, and so we're talking about how we're helping our other radio stations in the Moody Radio Network to reach the goal, our overall Moody Radio goal. And one of our listeners who moved to another market where we have a Moody Radio station was asking about what their station was doing. So Jordan, moved down to the Chattanooga area, and we have a Moody Radio station there. And so Jordan was asking, where are they at as far as their goal is concerned? Well, they're about 81% of their goal in Chattanooga. And so you can be praying for Chattanooga and their station. Tabi, who does the morning show
Yeah.
there, we've met her. She's a great gal, just a real ball of energy and just loves the Lord and just really cool. So be praying for Tabi and the team, and of course also for my friends down in South Florida as well. We've got some great Eric and the team down there, and Bridget
Yep.
down there doing a great job. So be praying for them.
Yep, and West Michigan, and Nashville, Chicago, regular Florida station. There's Florida and South Florida. So those are some of the stations that we're helping as we want them to be able to get to 100% of their goal and really
Yeah.
even though we have many parts. Does
Right.
that sound familiar?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was just thinking about, that Deb and I have had the privilege of being able to go to Chicago the past couple of years and meeting all the different morning shows from around the country at our Moody radio stations. And we have become really kind of a family, a team, and I was just thinking of one of the new members, and that's Steve Hiller, who is now with the Nashville station in the network. He and Don have teamed up together now. Now, Steve, you might remember hearing his voice on Unlocking the Bible, which comes your way at 9 o'clock. You'll hear him as the announcer on that, as well as on James Ford Jr.'s program, Treasured Truth as well, and now he's also part of the morning show there in Nashville. So when you're giving, you're helping Steve and Don, and you're also helping, Carl and crew in Chicago, and all the different teams around the country. And so making a difference in their communities for the Lord Jesus Christ.
So prayerfully consider how you would want to participate in this. Maybe you've already given and you're going to pray, and we really appreciate that. If you've not given yet, this would be a great time to help us in this fiscal year end to be able to, as a community, meet our goal. Phone number is 800-600-9624.
Yeah. Or you can also go online as well at moodyradio.org/Quad Cities. Here's Chris Tomlin with Resurrection Power.
Yeah, it's interesting as we see the different towns that are on here, and just I'm seeing the faces, the people that we know from those different stations, and knowing what they do and how they minister and how they reach people with the gospel, and how they work hard to get out in churches and tell people about Christ, and in their neighborhoods and in their schools and everything. It's just really cool to hear their stories when we get together and how the Lord's working in their markets. And so pretty cool stuff.
It is. I mean, there's such a great group of people that love the Lord and are serving him well.
Yeah.
And Carolyn, thank you so much for your gift this morning. Appreciate that. Thank you for helping out our sister stations this morning.
Yeah.
And really, we've already gone past 91% nationally now.
Right.
So people around the nation are saying, yeah, we want to help you end this year strong. And we so appreciate you. And I'm very grateful for you. And if you do want to give, our phone number is 800-600-9624. You can help us out by calling 800-600-9624.
Yeah. And so getting back to church, and one of the things that has been exciting for us at our church, and that, of course, is just seeing people we haven't seen in a long time. And each week I see different people. There might be some people that aren't there, that were there the week before, but there's other new people that that have decided to come, and it's great to see all just different faces and catch up a little bit, and hear about what's been going on in their lives and how they've been doing different things, and so that's really cool.
I'm glad that people are starting to be able to get back to church. I think we can easily feel disconnected,
Sure.
honestly. And so I think being able to see someone, even if it's at a distance, or being able to be in the same parking lot, maybe you're in a parking lot situation.
Yeah.
Even though you're not maybe able to talk face to face that close,
Right.
you're still able to see and feel that you're part of that community. And otherwise you can start drifting, I think, and feel
Right.
like you're alone.
Yeah. That's right.
And so I am really thankful that things are turning around a little bit and people
Yeah.
are heading back. And just in prayer for our nation, too, that some of the places that are experiencing kind of a resurgence of this,
Right.
that God would really stay his hand, and that, that would pass without having another emergency situation
Right.
like New York.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So if you would prayerfully consider giving a gift, you can again do that at 800-600-9624 or at moodyradio.org/Quad Cities. And that's going to wrap up our mid-morning show coffee break for this morning. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Try and stay cool.